Today, we are diving into a powerful topic: how to never tolerate insults and protect your self-respect. There is a moment in every person's life when someone says something rude, sharp, or unfair, and suddenly the whole world feels quiet. Your mind freezes for a second. Your heart beats a little faster. You feel confused, frustrated, or embarrassed. And you start asking yourself, why are they saying this to me? Do I deserve this? Should I respond, or should I stay silent? My friend, this moment happens to everyone. But what you do in that moment decides who you become. Some people let insults break them. Some let insults define them. But the strongest ones, the ones who rise above, use insults as fuel. They turn pain into power. They rise higher than anyone expects. This video is for that exact moment. This message is for the part of you that is tired of being disrespected, tired of staying quiet, tired of pretending that hurtful words don't affect you. Today, I will show you not only why people insult you, but also exactly how to respond in a way that protects your dignity, your peace, and your self-respect. And the best part is, we'll do it step by step, in simple English, with a smooth, easy-to-follow narrative that helps you learn and grow at the same time. So make yourself comfortable, take a deep breath, and listen closely. Because after this video, your life will change. After this, you will never see insults the same way again. The story of every quiet person. Let me begin by telling you something honest and real, something most people experience but rarely talk about. The people who get insulted the most in this world are usually not the weak ones. They are not the ones who lack character or confidence. In fact, they are often the strongest souls. Kind, patient, gentle, understanding, and peaceful. They choose calmness over chaos. They choose silence over shouting. They choose harmony over conflict. They try to give everyone a chance. They try to understand people even when those people do not deserve such understanding. They avoid unnecessary arguments because they feel conflict destroys relationships, and they do not want to hurt anyone's feelings. These people believe that staying silent is better than creating drama, and because of this, they become the quiet ones in every room. But here is the painful truth that almost every quiet person learns at some point in life. The world does not always respect kindness. The world does not always appreciate softness. Sometimes people mistake your calm nature for weakness. Sometimes they think your silence means you cannot stand up for yourself. And sadly, this misunderstanding becomes an invitation for rude people to take advantage of you. They test your patience. They push your boundaries. They speak to you in ways they would never dare speak to someone more aggressive. A rude person knows you will not shout back. They know you will not insult them in return. They know you will not create drama. And for that reason alone, they choose you as their target. Over time, this behavior starts to affect you in ways you never expected. You begin to feel invisible around people who only notice you when they feel like releasing their frustration. You begin to feel small when someone talks down to you as if your feelings do not matter. You begin to question yourself, wondering, why do people treat me like this? Do I deserve it? Is something wrong with me? Slowly, little by little, you start carrying the weight of other people's words, even when those words were never a reflection of who you truly are. But you must understand one thing very clearly. something that can change your entire perspective. An insult does not describe you. It describes the person who is saying it. A person who is confident in themselves does not insult others. A person who is happy does not try to destroy someone else's happiness. A person who respects themselves does not feel the need to disrespect another human being. People who insult others reveal their inner world. Their words show insecurity, fear, jealousy, impatience, or emotional immaturity. Their insults are not mirrors. They are projections. They project their pain, their frustration, and their dissatisfaction onto you, hoping it will make them feel bigger or stronger. To help you understand this deeply, let me tell you a simple story. A story that may reflect something you have experienced in your own life. It is not a dramatic story. It is not a story full of noise or shouting. Instead, it is a small moment that reveals a big truth. And once you hear it, you will know exactly why insults say nothing about you and everything about the person speaking. The man at the market. There was a man who went to the market early in the morning, just as the sun was rising. The sky was soft and golden, and the air felt fresh and cool. The man walked with a peaceful smile on his face. He was the kind of person who liked simple things. A quiet morning, a warm cup of tea, a small conversation with a neighbor. That day, he wanted to buy vegetables for his family. He carried a small bag in his hand and walked calmly through the busy market, greeting a few familiar faces along the way. When he reached the first stall, something unexpected happened. The seller looked at him with irritation in his eyes. Without any reason, the seller raised his voice and said, "You again? You always waste my time. You never buy enough. Why don't you go somewhere else?" His words were sharp and rude, filled with frustration that had nothing to do with the man standing in front of him. For a moment, the peaceful man stood still. Anyone else might have argued back, defended themselves, or reacted with anger. But this man did not. He did not allow the insult to enter his heart. He did not let the rude words change his mood or disturb his calm mind. Instead, he simply nodded and replied in a soft voice, "Okay." Then he turned and walked away without another word. Nearby, another seller had watched the entire interaction. He was surprised by the man's silence. Most people would get angry, shout back, or feel embarrassed. But this man reacted differently. Curious, the second seller walked up to him and asked, "Why did you stay quiet? Why didn't you answer him? He insulted you. He spoke to you as if you did something wrong." The man looked at him with gentle eyes and replied, "If a person is offering you anger, you do not have to accept it." These simple words held a deep truth, one that many people forget. When someone insults you, they are not giving you wisdom, kindness, or truth. They are offering you their anger, their insecurity, and their frustration. It is like someone trying to hand you a heavy bag full of poison. You do not have to take it. You do not have to carry it. You do not have to let their poison mix with your peace. This is the key. This is the lesson. This is the beginning of power. When someone insults you, you must understand what is really happening. They're trying to transfer their emotional burden onto you. They want to make you feel what they feel, angry, irritated, small, or hurt. But you have a choice. You can accept their anger, or you can let it fall to the ground without touching your heart. However, this does not mean you stay silent forever. It does not mean you allow disrespect again and again. It does not mean you let people walk over you. Silence can be powerful, but only when it comes from strength, not fear. What the man in the market showed was emotional control, not weakness. He chose silence because he refused to carry someone else's negativity, not because he was afraid to speak. And this is what you must learn too. You do not have to react immediately, but you must know how to respond wisely. There is a right way to protect your respect. There is a right way to set boundaries. There is a right way to rise above insults without accepting them. And once you learn that, your whole life begins to change. Why people insult you. Before we can talk about how to respond to insults, it is absolutely crucial to first understand why people insult you in the first place. When you understand the psychology behind insults, everything changes. You stop taking rude words personally. You stop believing everything people say about you. You stop allowing someone else's insecurity to shape your self-image. Once you truly understand why people insult others, you begin to see that insults are rarely about you. They are almost always about the person speaking them. They are projections of someone else's fears, frustrations, and unresolved pain. When you realize this, the sting of their words starts to fade, and you gain clarity, control, and strength. There are 5 main reasons people insult others, and each one reveals more about them than it does about you. 1. They feel threatened. One of the most common reasons people insult others is because they feel threatened. Your confidence, your progress, your presence, or your abilities may make someone uncomfortable. Perhaps they notice your strengths and are reminded of their own weaknesses. Perhaps your calm, composed personality makes them feel uneasy because they struggle with self-control. Instead of taking responsibility for their own growth, they choose the easier path. They attempt to bring others down. When a person feels that you are rising too high, they use insults as a weapon to push you back down to their level. Their words are not a reflection of your weakness. They are a mirror of their own fear, insecurity, and inadequacy. The moment you understand this, the insult loses its power. You realize that they are not attacking you. They are attacking their own fear of your potential. Once you see this, their words become almost meaningless, like noise in the background of a calm mind. You are no longer the target. You are the reminder of what they lack. 2. They want control. Some people insult not because they dislike you, but because they want to control your emotions. Their goal is not to teach you a lesson or prove a point. They want to see you react. They want to see anger in your eyes, frustration in your voice, or confusion in your mind. Your reaction gives them power, and your calmness takes it away. Insults are often carefully timed, delivered with a particular tone, or designed to provoke. It is a subtle psychological trap. If you react, they feel victorious. If you remain calm, they lose control. This is why emotional mastery is one of the most effective defenses against insults. When you learn to control your emotions, their words cannot hurt you. They can only hurt you if you allow them to. Staying composed, breathing deeply, and responding thoughtfully instead of emotionally is not just smart. It is a declaration of strength. 3. They are unhappy in their own life. Another major reason people insult others is that they are unhappy inside. A person who is content, peaceful, or confident does not need to put others down. Most insults you hear come from people who are struggling with stress, personal failures, family conflicts, or deep insecurities. Their insults are like smoke rising from an internal fire. They throw negativity outward because they cannot contain it. They look for targets who are approachable, safe, or patient. And unfortunately, kind people often become their target because they rarely retaliate. Hurt people hurt people. Understanding this gives you insight. The person insulting you is dealing with their own battles, and their words are not a measure of your worth. This awareness allows you to feel compassion rather than anger, and strength rather than hurt. It turns an attack into an observation of human nature, giving you a bigger perspective on life and the people around you. 4. They lack manners and emotional maturity. Insults are often the result of low emotional intelligence. A mature person can disagree without disrespect. They can express frustration without hurting others. They can assert themselves without belittling anyone. When someone insults you, it often reflects their lack of self-control, their inability to manage emotions, or their undeveloped social awareness. These people are not powerful. They are untrained. Their aggression is not proof of superiority. It is proof of immaturity. Recognizing this helps you detach from the words and see them for what they truly are. Evidence of someone's inner chaos rather than a reflection of your value. Their insults become signals of their limitations, not yours. And when you view it this way, it is easier to maintain your peace and dignity. 5. They think you will tolerate it. Finally, the most common reason people insult others is the simple belief that you will tolerate it. If you have allowed disrespect before, they assume it will continue. If you have stayed silent in previous encounters, they believe silence equals weakness. If you have never set boundaries, they assume you have none. The truth is, insults do not persist because you deserve them. They persist because you have not taught others the limits of acceptable behavior. The moment you set boundaries, speak calmly yet firmly, and assert your self-respect, the dynamic changes. People begin to think twice before insulting you, not because they fear you, but because they understand you will not accept mistreatment. And this brings us to the most important lesson. Once you understand why people insult, you are free to respond wisely. Understanding the reasons behind insults protects your peace, strengthens your confidence, and prepares you to handle difficult situations without losing dignity. You no longer need to react with anger, confusion, or self-doubt. You can choose calm, boundaries, silence, or distance. You can reclaim your power with every insult thrown your way because now you know the truth. Insults are about them, not you. What to do when someone insults you? My friend, you cannot control what people say. You cannot control how they think. You cannot control the emotions they carry inside their hearts. But there is one thing you can control: what you allow to enter your mind and your soul. Words have power only when you give them power. Insults hurt only when you accept them. This is one of the most important lessons you can ever learn. People will say hurtful things. They will question your abilities. They will mock your choices. They may even try to make you feel small or unworthy. But their words are not your reality unless you let them define it. You get to choose how to respond. You get to choose whether to let words penetrate your peace or whether to use them as an opportunity to grow stronger. Today, I want to give you 5 practical responses that can completely change the way you deal with insults and in turn, transform your confidence and self-respect. These responses are simple, but they are not small. Each one is powerful. Each one is a step toward becoming someone who cannot be shaken by negativity. Once you understand and practice them, you will begin to see yourself differently, and the world around you will begin to respond differently too. 1. Stay calm. Your calmness is your power. The first step is to stay calm. When someone insults you, they are often expecting a reaction. They want to see you angry, upset, or unsteady. They want you to lose control so that their words can hurt you more. But the moment you stay calm, you take away their power completely. Calmness is not passive. It is strength in action. It shows maturity. It shows confidence. It shows that you are in control of yourself, not at the mercy of someone else's words. A calm mind can defeat any insult because it does not allow the poison of negativity to enter your heart. The next time someone throws hurtful words at you, take a deep breath. Pause. Think. Do not rush into a defensive reaction. In that short moment of silence, you reclaim your power. You let the person know, without speaking a word, that their words cannot shake your foundation. Calmness is the first shield. Calmness is the first victory. 2. Set clear boundaries. Being calm does not mean being weak. It does not mean allowing people to disrespect you repeatedly. At some point, you must set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors that you control. They teach people how they are allowed to treat you. You can say simple statements like, "Please do not talk to me like that." Or, "I will not continue this conversation if you insult me." You can also say, "I deserve respect, and I expect you to give it." Or, "If you have something to say it respectfully." These sentences are straightforward, but they carry immense power. When you respect yourself by setting boundaries, others begin to recognize your strength. Boundaries are not about confrontation. They are about clarity. They show that you are aware of your self-worth and that you will not allow anyone to cross the line. Once you start setting boundaries, people begin to change the way they communicate with you. Respect becomes a natural expectation, not something you have to fight for. 3. Remove yourself from people who insult you. Some people simply do not deserve access to your energy. Not everyone belongs in your life, especially those who repeatedly insult or disrespect you despite your calmness and clear boundaries. If someone continues to cross the line, the best response is distance. Stop engaging. Stop explaining yourself. Stop giving them chances they do not deserve. Walk away, not because you are scared, but because you value your peace over drama. Walking away is not weakness, it is courage. It is a choice to prioritize your mental health and your emotional well-being. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to remove yourself from people who consistently try to bring you down. Protecting your space is not selfish. It is self-respect. When you protect your energy, you strengthen your ability to focus on what matters: your growth, your goals, and your peace of mind. 4. Let your silence speak louder than your words. There are moments when the strongest response is silence. When someone insults you and you do not react, you send a message far louder than words ever could. The person who insulted you becomes confused. They lose interest because their words no longer have the desired effect. They lose control because you are no longer giving them emotional energy. Silence shows that you are above their level. It demonstrates maturity, intelligence, and self-control. Your silence communicates that you are in charge of your own emotions, and it signals to others that your peace is not negotiable. Many people mistake silence for weakness, but in reality, it is a sign of strength. Choosing silence is choosing to rise above the petty attempts of others to undermine your confidence. 5. Build your inner confidence. Finally, the long-term solution is to build inner confidence. Insults only have power when they touch insecurities that already exist inside you. But the stronger your inner confidence, the less room insults have to affect you. How do you build this confidence? By working on your goals, improving your skills, taking care of your health and appearance, keeping promises to yourself, and practicing discipline every day. By respecting yourself and honoring your own values, you create a foundation that cannot be shaken by someone else's words. Confidence is not about proving others wrong. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable, worthy, and strong. When you walk through the world with confidence, people naturally treat you with respect, and insults lose their power entirely. This is how you rise above insults, not by fighting harder, but by becoming stronger inside. The moment everything changes. There is a moment in your life when everything shifts. Not because the world suddenly becomes kinder, but because you become stronger. Let me take you into a short narrative moment, one that may feel painfully familiar yet deeply empowering. Imagine this. Tomorrow, someone insults you. It could happen anywhere. Maybe at work, where a coworker makes a sarcastic comment about your abilities. Maybe at home, where someone close to you speaks with frustration and throws words that cut deeper than they realize. Maybe online, where people feel brave behind screens and careless with their words. Or maybe from a stranger on the street, someone you will never see again. Someone who knows nothing about you but still decides to leave a wound behind. Maybe, worst of all, it comes from someone you love, someone whose words should feel safe but don't. For a moment, the world stops. Your chest tightens. Your mind tries to react, tries to defend, tries to explain. But then something inside you wakes up. You look at them, but not with fear, not with anger, and not with the old habit of questioning yourself. You look at them with clarity. You stay calm. You breathe once, not to control yourself, but to understand the moment. You remember this message. You remember that insults do not belong to you. They belong to the person who throws them. You remember that their words describe their own heart, their own frustrations, their own insecurities, not your worth. And something powerful happens. Instead of reacting emotionally, you draw a line. A clear, strong, self-respecting line. You decide how to respond, not with shouting, not with over-explaining, not with begging to be understood. You respond with dignity. Sometimes dignity is a calm sentence. Sometimes dignity is a steady look. Sometimes dignity is silence. And sometimes dignity is simply walking away from people who don't deserve your energy. In that moment, something shifts inside you. You feel a strength rising that you didn't know you had. You feel taller, not in your body, but in your spirit. You feel clearer, not confused, but aware of who you are and who you are not. You feel like someone who cannot be broken so easily anymore. And here is the interesting part. The people around you sense it too. They may not say it out loud, but they feel it. They see that you are no longer someone who accepts disrespect quietly. They recognize the change in your energy, your posture, your voice. They begin to treat you differently, not because they changed, but because you did. This moment, this small but powerful moment, is the beginning of your new life. This is the moment your identity shifts from someone who tolerates disrespect to someone who demands respect through calm strength. This is the beginning of self-respect, a new version of you, a stronger version of you, a version that no insult can shake. And once you feel this change, you never go back. Do not let insults decide your value. There comes a point in every person's life when they must make a powerful decision. Will I let other people's words decide my value, or will I define it myself? You may not realize it yet, but every insult you have ever heard, every comment meant to hurt, embarrass, or belittle you, never truly belonged to you. Those words came from someone else's pain, someone else's insecurity, someone else's lack of emotional maturity. Yet for years, maybe even your whole life, you carried those words as if they were the truth. But the truth is simple. Your value does not change because someone fails to see it. Your worth is not reduced because someone speaks badly about you. Their opinion is not your identity. Their anger is not your reflection. Their disrespect is not your destiny. You are not small because someone else feels small inside. Many people insult others not because they see weakness in you, but because they fear the strength they see growing in you. When someone throws hurtful words at you, they reveal something about themselves, not about you. A person at peace does not insult others. A person who respects themselves does not try to break others. A confident person does not feel threatened by your progress. And once you begin to understand this, something powerful begins to shift inside you. Instead of taking insults personally, you start to see them for what they really are: emotional noise. You are strong, even on days you feel weak. You are growing, even when the growth feels slow and invisible. You are learning, even when the lessons are painful. Every insult you rise above becomes proof of your strength. Every moment you choose calm over anger becomes proof of your maturity. Every time you refuse to accept disrespect, your identity becomes clearer and stronger. You are becoming someone who will not tolerate disrespect. Not because you want to fight, not because you want revenge, but because you finally understand your worth. You begin to realize that people treat you based on what you allow. If you allow disrespect, it continues. If you allow insults to define you, they will. If you accept being treated as less, others will believe they have the right to do so. But the moment you draw a boundary, the moment you say, "No, I do not accept this," the world shifts. The world treats you the way you teach it to treat you. So teach it well. Teach it with calm confidence, because true strength does not need to shout. Teach it with quiet dignity, because dignity speaks louder than anger. Teach it with self-respect, because self-respect becomes a signal that others cannot ignore. When someone insults you, you do not need to prove yourself to them. You do not need to explain who you are. You do not need to convince them to see your value. Your value is not up for negotiation. Your value is not something that changes based on mood, opinion, or misunderstanding. Your value is constant, even on your hard days. Your value is real, even when others fail to recognize it. You have survived too much, learned too much, and grown too much to let a few careless words shake your identity. The next time someone insults you, remember this. They are speaking from their own darkness, not your light. And your light is far too bright to be dimmed by someone who cannot even see their own. Teach the world how to treat you by treating yourself with the respect you always deserved. Final message. My friend, remember this clearly. Never tolerate insults, not from strangers, not from friends, not from family, not from anyone. You were born to be treated with dignity, to be treated with respect, and to live a life free from unnecessary negativity. You deserve respect. You deserve peace. You deserve to walk through this world with your head held high and your heart strong, knowing that no one has the power to reduce your value unless you allow it. On this journey, there will always be people who try to test your patience, who try to push your buttons, and who attempt to make you feel small. But how you respond to them is what truly defines your strength. Do not fight with anger. That only gives them control. Do not react out of fear or frustration. That only distracts you from your path. Instead, fight with boundaries. Fight with silence. Fight with self-respect. Protect your energy as if it were gold, because it is. The more you respect yourself, the more the world will respect you. The more you honor your own worth, the more others will begin to recognize it. Remember, your life is your responsibility, and no one else can take that away from you. And as you move forward, know that you are not alone in this journey. Here at English Achieve, we believe in empowering every person to stand tall, speak their truth, and protect their inner peace. Let today be the day you start refusing to accept insults. Let today be the day you choose strength over reaction, dignity over conflict, and self-respect over approval. From this moment, your journey begins. The journey of becoming unshakable, confident, and unstoppable. Walk it with courage, my friend, because you are stronger than any words that come your way.